Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Killjoy Jake YouTube channel. It's time to rock and roll, baby. It's almost the final stream of the year. We have 9 weeks to go until Scream 7, and oh boy, we're getting into a brand new year of horror, ladies and gentlemen. It's a ton of fun to see. It's always really exciting to me, I feel, when we're getting into a brand new year. Maybe my favorite thing about getting into a whole new year of horror is just you never know what's gonna surprise you. And I know this year I'm about to put out my top 10 list of, my 10 favorite horror films of the entire year, and just going through that list again, I had to double check myself and say, do I really love this movie that much to say it's, my number one, it's this, that, whatever. Man, it's crazy. I mean, there's some choices on there where I'm just like, never thought this would be on the list. Crazy to think about, and it's awesome. It's wonderful stuff. So definitely excited to talk about a whole new year of horror this time next year and see what that picture's looking like. But 2025, man, it's been a great year for horror films. A lot of really fun stuff to talk about and break down on the page, and I'm glad to have done it with you guys. So let's talk a little bit about Scream. We have 9 weeks until the 7th installment. I just put out a brand new theory video today talking about the future, less about Scream 7, more about Scream 8, Scream 9, what could be happening after this. And I think it's a pretty fun theory. So if you haven't seen it, it's holiday themed, so kind of fitting with the time period we're in right now, and it kind of rocks. It's a fun little video. So anyways, we got Austin Allman hanging out with us. Thank you so much for being a channel member, Austin. I greatly appreciate you. You're saying, hey Jake, did you hear that strange noise outside? You should go investigate. I probably shouldn't do that, but if you're watching this on replay, you should like the stream and maybe subscribe to the page. Help us get to 40,000 subs. We're pretty damn close if you haven't noticed. We need like one GullGotha. Like where GullGotha is at in subs, if we can just get that for Killjoy Jake, boom, we're basically there. So there we go. I love it. Richard J. Skarenki is saying it's Friday night. Let's talk some horror. Last Friday night of the entire year, ladies and gents. Pretty fun stuff. Again, I love this time of year, this little pocket between Christmas and New Year's Eve. It's like anything can go down. You can kind of just chill out, vibe, whatever. Doesn't matter. It's my favorite. It's my favorite time of the year. Melissa is hanging out with us saying, hey Jake, how's it going? Welcome in, welcome in. Thanks for being here. Paul is saying happy holidays and saying that I must have been eating Wingstop. I'm not kidding, and I have like the funniest tragic story to share with you. I just had a bowl of noodles in my Stitch bowl, because as a horror fan, I have Disney merch all over the house. I dropped half of it in the fucking sink. Like, I'm literally like pouring the water out and just half the noodles go in there, and I'm just like, this is my only struggle meal for the day. Oh my god. And I'm so sad now. RIP half my bowl of noodles. So I was like, Madison just heard me go, god damn it, like a second ago in the kitchen because I did that, but I'm losing my mind because I'm just like, of course I pour half the noodles in there. Anyways, so no Wingstop today, but I am crying over a bowl of noodles, and also that fight that Dustin and Steve had in Stranger Things. Got all kinds of tears running down my face. It's crazy. We have Alex hanging out with us saying, hey, I'm good. Hopefully 2026 is another good year of horror. I agree, Alex. I think we got some good stuff coming up here. And dude, January, next month is about to rock. Yes, ma'am. I mentioned about Dustin and Steve. Yeah. Did you hear? Thank you for the burp. Everyone appreciates that. Dustin and Steve, though, right? Wasn't that brutal? We stayed up last night to watch Stranger Things 5 so I could review it on the page for you guys. Wow. We were both in tears. We were like, why are our boys fighting? I don't like that our boys are fighting. And I agree. What Steve said about Eddie, crazy uncalled for, man. Uncalled for, bro. I don't care if you got that hair, Steve. I don't care that you're cute. You can't say that about no Eddie. Come on now. Crazy right there. No, no, that's too funny. Paul saying your number one better be I Know What You Did Last Summer. Oh, wait, that was one of your worst 10 of 2025. Boo. Paul, I respect it, man, but Here's, and I'm just going to go on the rant one more time because I don't get the love for that movie. If I can't even understand half of the lines coming from one of your main actresses, your film is incompetent. I can't possibly give praise to something like that, and it really bums me out. That to me could have been a surefire hit, and it is just it's an incompetently made movie on top of a lot of other things. But that's just it's actually, for me, it's embarrassing. I mean, I can't believe that went to theaters. Wow. I don't know. I Know What You Did Last Summer, 2025, just a major miss, a major stinker, in my opinion. I think they could have done that franchise a little better, in my humble opinion. Man, just one of the most frustrating watches of the year for me personally. Horror Lover is saying, celebrating my birthday by watching a Jake live about Scream 7. Best way to celebrate. Happy birthday, my friend. End of the year birthday. That's nuts. So, like, do you get, like, double presents? Like, do you get, like, presents on Christmas, presents on your birthday? Because I know some people who have Christmas birthdays, they get presents all on, like, the same day. So it's kind of like they don't have a excuse me, a big celebration outside of Christmas. I grew up with a few friends who had birthdays around this time. Actually, it's my niece's. Pretty sure it's my niece's birthday today or tomorrow, which is crazy. And she kind of has the same situation. So I know that's got to be weird. I'm curious thoughts on that. I'm not trying to I'm not trying to boast. My birthday's in the perfect spot. It's right at the end of September, so it's like it's perfectly placed between, like, like Halloween's coming up next. Then you got Thanksgiving at the end of the next month. You get Christmas at the end of the next month. It's like holiday. It's perfect. But let us know. I'm curious. King Bull 90s is saying, hey, yo, what's going on, everyone? What's up? How we doing? King Bull from the 90s. We love it. I'm also from the 90s. Kind of hard for me to claim that when I was born in 98. So I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of a fake 90s baby, but but I try. I do my best. Erica Stabs for Likes is saying, hey, I'm here, but eaten. That's okay. I was a little late because I was eaten. So I appreciate you for being here. Thanks for modding tonight. Keeping everything in line in the chat. We can go a little crazy, though. Come on now. We can be a little crazy out there. Lighting Ghost is saying the new I Know What You Did Last Summer was so bad and awful characters. And I'll say something good about it since I said something negative about it last time. I will say I think the fisherman gets some of his best kills here. I thought the hook through the jaw was pretty damn cool. So that's something I liked about the film. Paul is saying, but that's how the new generation talks. They speak low and cranky. Maybe that's what she was. I'm still just, I don't understand what Madeline Klein was going for. Truly, that's the thing that, like, walking out of the theater, we were all talking about. We're like, what was she even going for? She was either screaming through all of her dialogue so fast that you couldn't understand it, and maybe maybe it was just the theater I was in or something. I've only seen the film once, but I mean, we were like leaning forward in our chairs because we're like, huh? What's she saying? And it's like, because like she's screaming so loud at the beginning of that movie at like all of her lines. And then it gets even more ridiculous because we get to this graveyard sequence where they're like trying to be quiet, they're like sneaking around, and she's whisper mumbling all of her dialogue like this, and I'm like, I can't understand what you're saying for a totally different reason. What's going on right now? Like, it was, I saw people across the row leaning forwards in their chairs. Like, that's just incompetence to me. Like, it's one thing if you want to have a silly plot point that might not work. That's what, I'll bring that up in a review, whatever. But like, I have a vendetta against this movie because, like, how are you editing this footage and being like, oh yeah, that joke's gonna land? Oh man, I want to strangle some people. No, I'm kidding. But just for me, a very, very, very frustrating watch. The whole time, like, there's a lot of things like that, and Lightning Ghost is getting into it with Ray's character. Just a lot of things that made me want to like jump through the screen and be like, every decision you're making is the worst one. Please stop. Please just stop what you're doing. Crazy, man. I don't know. Horror Lover 95 is saying thank you, and I basically just get everything on Christmas. See, that's it. All just kind of morphs into one holiday. I'm sorry. I hope that your birthday gets prioritized a little more in the future. That's what I'll say, my friend. At least you get double presents, though. I mean, that's pretty damn cool. I'll say that. But thank you for hanging out with us. We greatly appreciate you. Thanks for talking a little horror with us tonight. Austin Allman is saying, did you see the Final Destination theory I sent about Death sending warrants? Warning shots. I thought I read that wrong. I'm like, why is he sending back shots to Eric? Hang on now. No, sending warning shots at Eric. You know, I got to get back to you on that. I've been literally editing that video all day, and then I just made myself dinner. So that's been my day. I did not sleep last night at all. So like I woke up to get my fiance like out of bed to work because we stayed up for Stranger Things last night about until like 1 or 2. And then I just made breakfast real quick, got my fiance out the door, and I mean, dude, I fell on the bed and just started snoring, like snoozing all morning. So I got that video done a little late. I'm just behind, which sucks. By the way, there is a Killjoy Jake retro video that is it's 90% done. Which is so exciting. I have a big deep dive video that I've been sitting on for like over a month now. I still have my fucking beard in it. It's a really good video. It's on Talk to Me and Bring Her Back. That should be coming out this weekend. I should have it done. There's just a few more I gotta grab some clips. That's literally all I gotta do. I mean, like I gotta grab clips for half the video and it's done. So that should be out tomorrow. I know I promised it over in a little community post over there that would be out this week. Sounds like it's gonna be this weekend. So apologies that is so unbelievably late. Moving into the new year though, I have a new video series that shouldn't take me as long and will be maybe even better. I have a really good idea for something coming up on that page. So I hope you guys dig it. Again, the focus of that page will always be to look back on horror, but also I think what we're going to start doing is focusing on popular topics that are still finding ways to look back. So we have 28 years later, The Bone Temple coming out in the middle of January. So we're going to be looking at that whole franchise over on Killjoy Jake Retro at the top of next month is what I'm thinking. So I'm really excited for this. I have a whole series planned of something I want to do, very similar to the videos we have been putting out there, but just like a smidge different. I have a little bit of a different idea that we're gonna be tackling for that page, and I really think it's gonna help the page move forward. Really excited for that series. So hoping I can make that happen. But anyways, circling back to what I was talking about with Austin, I'm all over the place tonight. Sorry, fellas. Final Destination, I will get back to you about the theory. I love Final Destination theories. I'm really excited for part 7, and I want some more updates on it. We know that there's a script out there. We know that they're moving on another sequel. I hope it's gonna be good, man. I'm really hyped up for it. King Bull was, oh man, you're November 1990. So you're almost an 80s baby, is what you're trying to tell me. You're barely there. I'm almost the 2000s baby. You're almost an 80s baby. I love that. I love that stuff right there, my friend. Good stuff. I wish I would have grown up, I wish I was born in like the late 80s, because then I could have grown up through the 90s. That would have been perfect. I love 90s culture, 90s media, 90s everything. I love the 90s. I think it is one of the most interesting times for pop culture. And I think a lot of people say like the 80s. They're like, no, the 80s was like the golden age. And it was. I mean, the 80s is an amazing time for horror, for movies, for just pop culture in general. But there's an anger. There's a rebelliousness about the 90s that I'm just in love with. Like there's a certain tude. There's an attitude about the 90s that I'm just in love with. I love 90s everything. Even kids commercials, guys. Even like kids commercials for shit are like edgy, and you're like, what the fuck am I watching right now? Go look up a compilation of like kids or like video game commercials from the 90s, dude. It's crazy. Like, I mean, you'll see some crazy shit in there, and you're like, they would never air a commercial like that today for adults, let alone for, selling children video games. Insanity, man. Insanity. Eli Cortez is saying, what's up, Jake and chat? Welcome in, Eli. Appreciate you for stopping by and slashing the like button, all that fun stuff. Paramount Pictures new Ghostface post. Are you fucking kidding me, bro? I've been scouring the internet for updates today. I'm like, we gotta get something out. Gotta make that happen. No way did we just get a new Ghostface picture. Are you for real right now? I think you're lying. If you're lying to me, I'm gonna cry on camera. I'm gonna cry on camera right now. Paramount Pictures, show me Ghostface. I think you're lying to me, bro. What do you mean? Paramount Pictures new Ghostface post. Where? Show me. Crazy stuff. Lisa's complete randomness is saying, I disliked the original. I have no desire to see the remake. Yeah, it's all right. it's all right. Paul just threw a super chat out too, saying you see the new short from. Okay, so is it a short? It's like a video. Hang on now. Hang on, guys. We might have a Scream 7 update live on the Scream 7 stream. How about them apples? Paul hit me with this. Where can I find this? Thank you for supporting the page. I greatly appreciate you. Looking it up. Paramount. You might be lying to me. Honestly, you might. I think you might be lying to me. I don't know. This is interesting. I'm not seeing anything from Ghostface right now, but that would be really cool if that was the case. I posted it in the Discord main page. Okay, we're heading over to the Discord real quick, guys. We're finding a Scream 7 update. If you're just joining us, we might be figuring out if there's a new photo of Ghostface or not. This is pretty exciting stuff. Let's see this. I think you're messing with me. Discord main page. I'm not seeing that. I don't think you posted anything in the main page. I'm going to be totally honest with you. Oh, the Sydney gift thing. Okay, yeah, no. I talked about that in my video today. I'm like, dude, if I missed a Scream 7 update, I'm going to be so sad. Okay, it's I already... Yeah, that came out yesterday. Cool. Okay, I'm like, if something's going on right now, that's crazy. Like, the moment we go live to talk about Scream, and bam, we got ourselves a big Scream update. I love when that happens. We get to talk about it live in real time. It's always a good time. But yeah, we got a little bit of a Scream 7 teaser trailer yesterday. I talked about it. My new video today is kind of about all of the weird little marketing bits that we've gotten in the last 2 months. So if you missed those, they are minuscule, but they might have a weird connection, is kind of what my video was talking about. Maybe giving us a hint as to what the franchise's future is. So very good stuff. Yes, I like what you did with the house, Sydney. Yeah. Okay, cool. Paul, I thought you were saying there was a new picture of Ghostface, and I'm just like, what? Huh? What do you mean that's happening right now? That's too exciting. So I'm really excited for some more real updates on Scream 7, though. I think once we get into the new year, that's when we're going to start to see, like, you know, pictures of Ghostface, pictures from the movie, more trailers, an Ice 9 Kill song, which might feature a music video, guys, with the crazy something, the little tie-in music video with Scream 7. So I think there's a lot of exciting stuff happening. A lot of exciting stuff up ahead that I'm very much so looking forward to. For Misery Gaming is saying, Jake, it's not horror, but after all the talk with Sydney Sweeney from Housemaid and the drama, I went down the rabbit hole to get all the tea, and it's a wild ride. I can see why people don't vibe with her. Well, yeah, it's a lot of tea. It's a lot of tea if you're willing to sip. But you know, it's just a weird situation. I think people, especially celebrities, will find a group of people to cater to sometimes, and that's just sometimes that's just how it goes. And you start doing things that are kind of like, well, that's kind of whack, dog. That's all I'll say about it. But yeah, it's a weird thing. I'm gonna go see The Housemaid this weekend. I will have videos up for. I meant to have the Avatar video this week. Again, it's just crazy with the holiday. I'm gonna have a video on Avatar 3 up for patrons, as well as The Housemaid. So those two videos are coming out very soon. Working on it, making it happen. So really excited to review those. Raggedy Man, what's going on? Welcome in. Thank you for being a channel member. Hi all. Hi, hello. Paula Fitzhenry also with us, also a channel member. Yo. Welcome in, Paula. Thanks for being here. You were a teenager in the 90s. Best times ever, says Erica. That's very cool. Very, very cool. I'm jealous. I bet that must have been fun. Some very fun stuff there. Big Brisk is saying the 90s and the early 2000s were amazing. They don't even make Game Boy or Super Soaker commercials anymore. That's what I'm saying. Dude, those commercials are crazy. I love 90s nostalgia shit. Like, that is just so interesting to me. That's a rabbit hole to go down if you want a good rabbit hole. Jalit Powers is saying, hi, Jake, you're the coolest. You're the coolest. Thanks for being with us. Thanks for hanging out with us. I appreciate you. Paul, I'm going to say it again because I just saw your second super chat. Bleh, words. Thank you for supporting the page twice. I greatly appreciate that. Thank you. The Alpha, talking about the Scream 7 teaser. Thanks for being with us. Appreciate you. Ghostface is getting a gift for Sydney for Christmas. That's It's very cool. Hollywood Guy's with us. Thanks for being a channel member, dude. Yo, yo, yo. Hey, gang, what's up? Hey, gang. I feel like we got a little Fred energy with that one. RJ is saying, I feel so sorry for all the people in New York City right now because of that horrible snowstorm that's there right now. That's terrible. Oh my God, that's awful. Yeah, around this time of the year, the weather just gets real bad, kind of moving into January as well. But yeah, hopefully everyone's okay up there. You know, just best wishes. Terrible stuff. Lainey is saying, hi, Jake and everyone. Happy Christmas. Hope you all had a good one. Same to you, my friend. Thank you for being with us. Appreciate you. Happy holidays and all that fun stuff. Hope you guys had fun, ate some good food, you know, watched some good movies. Terrifier 3, perhaps. I don't know. You know, that or Christmas Vacation. One or the other. The kids will love both. We have Hollywood Guys being a member for 30 months. Guys, that is longer than 2 years. That's amazing. Hollywood Guy, thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it, man. Saying, holy crap, buddy, it's 30 months. When do you think the new trailer will be out? I say New Year's Day. This has been a wild ride. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for supporting it, man. Thank you for making it happen. New Year's Day, you might have a point there, actually, with that. That's a really interesting point to make because I specifically noted how we've gotten a little something, which with each holiday. And I feel like that trend is going to continue. That's a really good point. I feel like we're probably going to get something moving into New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. Maybe New Year's Day more so because I think like Stranger Things is kind of where the focus is right now, but I think that's going to shift as we get into the new year, of course. So yes, I think you might be right about that. New Year's Day, we could be getting something. It could be another one of these weird little teasers, you know, where it's Ghostface celebrating New Year's outside of Sydney's house or something. I don't know. But whatever we end up getting, I really hope they, you know, start doing some marketing for Scream 7. I made a very big point in my video today to say that was Scream 4's mistake, is that they just got a little too willy-nilly with it. They did do some big events, like it was like sparingly big events here and there to try to market the movie, but it wasn't a whole lot of, you know, really utilizing the internet more than they probably should have. So hopefully Scream 7 follows in the footsteps of the previous two films. Big marketing campaign, yada yada. I'm really hoping they do that though. That would be nice. Jason Rushman is saying, it's good to see you, Jake. Same to you, Jason. Welcome in, man. Really good to see you, man. I've been crying for the last hour because I miss Steven so much. I'm so sorry about that, my friend. I miss him too. I miss him especially as we get into a new Scream film. You know, I know he would love this. I know that he would love to be talking about this with us right now. And I think in spirit, you know, he is definitely here with us. So it's just one of those things. It's one of those one of those just sad and tragic things, my friend. So I'm glad that you're with us, though. I'm glad you're keeping his spirit alive. That means quite a bit. And go subscribe to Craven Something Scary. You know, go subscribe to his page because he's still got a lot of great content on there to watch. Some of the most fun streams I've ever been a part of are currently on that page. So stay subscribed and go back and watch those videos every now and then. It's a lot of fun stuff. Fort Misery Gaming is saying, Jake, did you also see the non-political drama with Sweeney, who alleges she's trying to get with Tom Holland and now Zendaya refuses to do PR with her now? What? That's just crazy. You know, I will say I think that there's an interesting thing about celebrities. It's that if you can draw attention to yourself doing anything, and sometimes that's, you know, nasty stuff too, which is funny. So it's like people get obsessed with that. People are like, what is this? What's going on with this? What's happening here? I'm interested. I got to see what this is all about. And I think that's why people do stuff like that. Is my guess, but I don't know. What do I know? King Matthew III is saying, what's up, Jake? How are you doing? I'm fantastic. Unfortunately, I can't join the stream. I'm at the theaters to watch Anaconda, but I wanted to pop in and say, hey, well, have fun. Enjoy the comedy movie Anaconda and let us know what you think. But thanks for popping in. I appreciate you. Erica Stabs for likes is saying, Jake likes you, so you should like him back. That would be pretty cool. Hey, give the stream a like. Why the heck not? You know, if you like horror movies, then you might like this page. Just a thought. But Erica, thank you for the 2. Thanks for supporting the page. I appreciate you. Does help. If you like the stream too, it helps us get out there a little more. We get more people coming in here talking horror, throwing out crazier ideas. Who knows? You never know what you're gonna get. These streams are always what I love about these streams is it's really just I'm feeding off of the energy from the chat. So whatever weird shit you put in there, we're gonna make the live about it basically. So whatever theories you have about Scream 7 or hell any other crazy upcoming horror flicks, throw it out there. We'll get into it. Just in case you're new here, I don't know. Lisa's Complete Randomness is saying Screams 1 through 3 were my high school years. Thankfully, no serial killers at my school. Good. That's good to hear. That would be terrible if there were. Screams 1 through 3, that was I feel like that's just such an era of this franchise. That's just such a wonderful, fun, super late 90s, super early thousands era for the franchise. It's great stuff. Great stuff. The Alpha is saying, when do you think was off? Who do you think was off too soon in Screams 1 through 6? The easy answer I feel like is always Randy. Just because I would have loved to have seen him running around Hollywood. I feel like there was a lot of opportunity for something along those lines. Just because, like, dude, Randy is one of those characters that he would have eaten up a Hollywood set. He would have been somebody involved with the movie, actively working on it. That would have been a really cool progression to see this character go from just kind of like dorky film nerd to like actually working on stab movies. That would have been so cool. That would have been a really fun role, I think, for him. But I also do really like his death because I think it's shocking and we didn't really expect it. He's the guy that knows everything. It's like, yeah, of course you want to have him be a part of this in some way, shape, or form. And maybe that's why Ghostface was targeting the guy, because like he kind of knows what's up. He might foil your plan before you even get to go through with it. Might have you all figured out. So I understand why Randy was such a target. And I think I get why he's why he was killed. But yeah, I think Randy's a character who really would have prospered in Scream 3. Like, that's such a silly movie, and this is one of your silliest, most likable characters. Not being present in Scream 3, I mean, like, of course he has a little videotape, but I'm talking about having an actual character progression, which you don't get from him, obviously. So that would have been really cool. That would have been kind of dope to see him pop in there in some way, shape, or form. But that was a character who I feel like got killed off too soon. Trying to think of more like beloved side characters that we didn't get enough of from some of the movies. I mean, I really would have loved more of Jill if that would have been a possibility, like moving on from Scream 4. The original plan for Scream 5 with Wes Craven was going to be like they were going to carry on Jill's legacy, essentially. They were going to make Jill get away with murder and go to college, and then a Ghostface was going to come after her, basically doing an I Know What You Did Last Summer plot, being like, I know your secret, I know you were Ghostface. Who knows and why? That would have been such an interesting murder mystery film that totally would have kind of thrown the whole franchise on its head. I would have loved to have seen that. But maybe those two characters, I'm sure there's more we can think of. I love Dewey, but I feel like that was a perfect time to kill him personally. I don't think I would have liked Scream 5 at all if Dewey didn't die, if I'm being totally honest. I was kind of bored by the first half of that movie. I was not in it, and then like we get this 1-2 punch of we're killing Judy and Wes, and then we're killing Dewey, and we're adding so much to our characters all the while. There was a lot to love about that whole sequence. Just really making our new characters these underdogs who are just barely being saved by a beloved legacy character. That gives them so much more weight, in my opinion. Without that scene with Dewey in Scream 5, I think I really would have checked out of the film. Not a whole lot going on in the first half that I was really crazy about. And then the back half of Scream 5 is where I feel like that film comes alive. Outside of Stu's house being the setting, which feels a little repetitive. I love the killers. Love a lot of the kills in the back half of the movie and in the middle. I don't know. There's a lot to love about everything beyond the first act of that one. So I love Dewey, man, but every character's got to die at some point. These are slasher movies, and I know that there's a big focus on characters, and people coming back from each of these movies, but eventually there's just no more story to write, and that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. So I'm excited to see what else happens with characters in this new movie. What else is going on? We have For Misery saying, I know you don't vibe with early marketing, Jake, but the big movies, I think it really does work. My crew saw the trailers, so for Sinners 3 to 5 months before it came out. It just got us more excited. It's not that I don't vibe with early marketing. I sometimes I don't like when trailers give away too much. But I do like when trailers like build hype real early on. Great example of that is probably 28 years later. That first initial trailer dropped around this time last year. and then the movie didn't end up coming out until like the summertime. Dude, I was hyped for it the whole time because of that trailer. I was like, dude, this looks amazing. Hyped up for this. So early marketing can be a great thing. What's going on with the Odyssey right now, I think, is they're slowly building hype across multiple, like a whole year. That's crazy. So that might actually result in a really big return for that film. Who knows? Faith Dorn is saying, hey, Jake, Erica, and chat. Hope everybody had a great Christmas, whichever holiday you might be celebrating. Hell yeah. Faith, thank you for being with us. Appreciate you. Happy holidays to you, my friend. I have not seen The Crow yet. I'm so sorry, Raggedy Man. At some point, I'm going to just... I think I have one more video to go up on this channel this year, and then I think I'm going to just, like, spend the rest of my year catching up on movies. So I'll put... that'll be on the list. Don't you worry. JL is saying, I want Scream 7 to have a flashback montage of all the previous films, just like Friday the 13th, the final chapter did. You know, that might be in the realm of possibility. It's really hard for me to speculate that we're going to do any sort of flashbacks now. It really just seems like Matthew Lillard, I said Roman, but I mean Scott Foley and David Arquette. I think they're just getting in the booth to do some Ghostface lines. I don't even think they're coming back as their characters, and truthfully, that bums me out. I want to see them. I want to see flashbacks with them. I want to get that Halloween Kills style flashback that I think is that was so effective, so much fun. And very nostalgia driven, you know. So I want to see that. I want to see that in this franchise. I want to see it actually go somewhere. Where in Halloween Kills, it fucking doesn't. It's a great scene. It's awesome, but it goes nowhere. It's crazy stuff. Holy shit! Paul's throwing $50 out there, saying "Merry Christmas, Jake. Enjoy some Wingstop." You know what? I really appreciate that, dude. I'm gonna. I think I might just do that now. I greatly appreciate you guys. It's little things like this that help the page stay afloat, if I'm being totally real. You know, it's been a weird month. We went from things flying high with all the Scream 7 stuff in October and November, and you know, this month has been a little whack, and I'm so serious. It's because of the live stream crowd that we've been able to stay afloat. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. First 2 weeks of this month, I was like, well, fuck, one more month of this, and I don't know what's gonna happen. So it's because of little things like this, Paul here and the rest of you guys supporting the page. It's because of that we're able to stay afloat. We're able to make this happen. Sadly, Killjoy Jake is, you know, no Dead Meat, no CZ's World, no 3C Films. I wish I was up there with those big guys. I love them. I love them to death. Have so much respect for all those channels. So great. A lot of great horror pages on here. But we're just not there yet, you know. So the live stream crowd keeps this page afloat. And I can't thank you guys enough. So thank you for your support, Paul. Thank you to everyone who's thrown something out there tonight. And thank you for allowing me to make some really silly videos for you guys. Really means a lot. So I can't thank you enough for that. Thank you for keeping the lights on around here. Riddlemaster is saying, when will Scream go to space? Scream X is just around the corner, dude. Scream 7, you know, that's not too far away. I'm just saying, a couple more movies. we'll get there, my friend. King Bull is saying, another reason I'm hoping Stu is alive is because if he's revealed it was him that got Dewey, because it was ridiculous when little Amber said it was her. Why was it ridiculous? If a baby's got a knife, could a baby not stab you? I mean, I've seen like dogs. I've seen like dogs have knives in their mouths and stab people in crazy videos, man. I mean, shit gets real. I mean, hands versus knife in general, doesn't matter who's holding it. You're likely gonna lose with just the hands. That's my thing. I don't know. That just doesn't bug me. I don't know. This is a thing that gets brought up a lot, but I can't dig that deep into movies. I don't know. If that bugs you though, I'm sorry that bugs you. That's what I'll say. I'm sorry that upsets you, but not that big of a deal for me, I guess. GMC Waters 825 is saying, hey Jake, am I crazy, or was Kirby's house supposed to be in Scream 6? You know, that was one of the rumors. But you know, the funny thing about rumors is that a lot of rumors don't end up being true. Do you remember for Scream 5, there was a rumor that we were going to have this big mall set piece? Does anyone remember this? We were going to have like a big sequence in a 90s themed mall. That never happened. So, you know, with the last two films especially, there was a lot of rumors, and you guys might have heard me say this, where I was saying along the lines of, you know, like there was just so many rumors where it's like, dude, take this with a grain of salt. I don't know if this is true or not. A lot of stuff just coming from random accounts and blowing up for that reason. A lot of people just repeating it. And then you had this little like validity effect thing going on. So I really try to make it clear. It's like, I don't know if this is happening or not. I try to make that clear with Screams 5 and 6 especially. But, when it comes to 7, I feel like a lot more things have just simply leaked. A lot more things have just been out and about for way too damn long, and it's like, wow, there's like legit proof of a lot of this stuff, which sucks. But yeah, that was that to me, I believe, was a rumor that just kind of, who knows where that came from, kind of thing. So I don't know. To my knowledge, that was never a legit thing, but I actually do remember talking about that. I do believe that was a little bit of a rumor going around. So could have absolutely been the case for sure. For Misery Gaming saying, also, Jake, they are already dropping trailers for Avengers Doomsday with Steve Rogers and Thor spots, and still a full year away. That movie's going to make money no matter what. I mean, come on, dude. You have Robert Downey back playing a villain this time. Yeah, I understand why they're doing the trailers now, though. That's an event. They're making it an event to come to the theaters. And as much as I'm not over the moon about Marvel, I have to say I think it is cool that we're doing this with the Avengers again. We're making it a big, some sort of an event film, anything to get out to the theaters. That rocks. I just think it's so important that we, support movies and not just watch everything on streaming. There's a lot of talk in Hollywood right now about, well, do we even need theaters anymore? Can we just release everything straight to streaming? And then that things get complicated. Less people get paid. It's just it's a whole situation. We got to come out to the theaters, guys. So if that industry dies, what even will become of movies? I don't know. And maybe it's just me, but I love the communal theater experience. I really do. You can have bad experiences. I've heard about a lot of them. I've had some myself. I've had like clerks have to come in and kick people out kind of vibes. But man, when you get a good experience, when you get people just like super excited over a movie, it's infectious. It's amazing. It's like for me, it's like watching the DVD extras of a movie with the people making it who are all excited about it, but you get that live with a crowd who's experiencing it for the first time with you. You're connecting with a bunch of strangers. It's a beautiful thing, I think. So I'm very passionate about the theatrical experience. I think it's a wonderful thing. And I would hate to see that die. So I love the fact that we're hyping up Avengers Doomsday a year before. It might not be my perfect cup of tea, but I'm glad that so many people are excited about it. And I'm glad that so many people are getting views talking about it too. I just don't care enough. I'm so sorry. I wish I did, because man, the Avengers stuff is crazy. I'm watching all these other YouTubers get like hundreds of thousands of views talking about Steve Rogers is back, and I'm just like, cool. I don't know, man. I wish I cared more. I really do. But it's just not. I just whatever. I'm like whatever about it. I want to see Robert Downey back as Doctor Doom. That I'll be honest. I think it's cool to see him as a villain. I think that's going to be fun. That's kind of where my excitement for that movie ends. JJ is saying, do you agree that a new Scream trilogy with the most popular Gen Z and Gen Alpha social media stars and actors? That's a weird way to phrase that. And actors would reinvigorate the Scream franchise. Do we need Sydney anymore? I really don't think it's a question of if we need Sydney anymore, because I don't mean to say this in any sort of malicious way. I feel like there's a lot of people who are like, if I'm not getting a Scream movie with Sydney Prescott as the focus, I don't even want to watch it. And I guess I just don't understand that, because like Scream to me is Sydney. Let me phrase it this way. Sydney is a vehicle to be able to do Scream, not the other way around. That's how I've always seen this franchise. I think that Sydney Prescott is a character who doesn't want to be in a horror movie. That's the meta of her character. That's the brilliance of her character in a lot of ways. She would rather be in a romance novel, let's say, we even get lines that are kind of referencing that kind of joke, that kind of meta humor around her character. And I just feel like we've really played out that storyline, and I feel like, especially with the fact that she has a family now, this character has passed so many torches at this point. We have to find a way to end it, or else I just feel like we're gonna ruin this character who is so beloved. For me at least, I think Laurie Strode is a ruined character. I have no interest in ever seeing a Laurie Strode story again because of what they did with her in so many movies, especially in the new millennium onward. I mean, you kill her off in the opening scene of a sequel to a movie that never needed a sequel. H2O was very final. You know what I mean? That was a very like, okay, that's it. You know, that could be the third movie from 1 and 2. That's it. And then for whatever reason, it gets a very unnecessary sequel that doesn't really extend the story in any sort of meaningful way. It's just another movie where we had to kill Laurie Strode to make it happen. That was already like a, what the fuck are we doing, guys? But then, you know, with the Halloween trilogy, some people felt it was cool. But for me, Halloween Ends just, I mean, completely ruins and derails everything I liked about the character. We have Jamie Lee Curtis playing herself rather than actually Laurie Strode, which are two very, 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 very separate entities and types of characters. Jamie Lee Curtis is very over the top, has a lot of charisma, and you know, I mean, she's really goofy. I feel like was born to be an entertainer. Laurie Strode is not that kind of character. I don't know. I would hate to see that happen to Sidney Prescott. And I'm worried that if we do another trilogy with her, that's the path that we're going down. So I hope that's not the case. I really hope that, I'm okay with seeing Sidney back, but I don't need Sidney for a Scream movie. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not like, oh my God, we're going back to Sidney. No, there's definitely still a story we can do with Sidney, but if we get to the point where like Neve Campbell's just playing herself, this isn't even really a natural evolution of this character, well, then you might get borderline like we're ruining this character, and like that would suck, right? Like, I know there's people that disagree with me, but can we agree at least on the fact that if Sidney Prescott comes back and she's not herself, she's out of character, like that would not be satisfying, right? I feel like that's not too crazy of a thing to say, and I'm seeing this happen with a lot of franchises lately, even outside of horror. And I would hate to see that happen with Sidney and Scream. I feel like she's a final girl that I feel so protective of, because I feel like her arc has been really well done, and has been kept pretty damn well preserved. So I really hope they don't fuck it up with 7 or any movies onward. Erica saying, "You're my big fish, unite and fate." I greatly appreciate you. I feel like a big old nasty fish, but Erica, thank you so much for the support. Thank you for modding, and thank you for just being so cool. I said it to you over, like I messaged you this, but I just, to say it again, you truly did make our Christmas. Erica gifted us a bunch of crazy games that we've been wanting to play over on Steam for the gaming channel, and that really means the world to us. So Erica, thank you so much. You made our Christmas so fun. And and I know Madison is super excited. So thank you so much for the support. Thank you for the $2. Nightmare Files is saying YouTube can be like the stock market at times. It really can. It's a lot of luck. You got to be in the right place at the right time, and you know, who knows what'll happen. So I'm just I'm happy to at least be working class YouTube. I'm happy to be at least like I'm happy to be a fraction of something going on here. I'm very thankful for that. I wake up every day and I'm thankful for it. So Clark Kent is a channel member as well, saying, yo, what's up, Clark? How we doing? Welcome in, my friend with superpowers. Or do you have superpowers? I love it. Jake's the type to post a meme on IG of Saw is greater than Home Alone, yet he binged Stranger Things on Christmas. You're goddamn right. I really am. I feel like I am really all over the place with with taste. However, I think I can get into like the popular stuff, but I do love me some weird niche bullshit, you know? Like I'm really all over the place with it. So I think that if you like Home Alone, you should watch Saw. I think these are it's a great pairing, you know? Red wine and pasta, Saw and Home Alone. There you go. There you go, baby. Austin Allman throwing $2 out there saying Dewey could easily return in old interview tapes. I would love that. I really would. You know, I'm just going based off of what Scott Foley said and applying it to the other characters who are dead and returning. And I guess the big reason why that's where my line of thinking is, and kind of generalizing with all these characters, is two big things. We announced all these characters around the same time. Like, we knew about Matthew Lillard, Scott Foley, and Dewey Riley shortly after that, all within the span of like a couple of days. It was right around when Hard Eyes was dropping in theaters. I remember covering that earlier this year. But then on top of all of that, I feel we heard some things in the trailer that was teases towards exactly this, like lines of dialogue that were coming from Dewey, Roman, and Stu right at the end there. It sounds like Ghostface lines. It sounds like things we heard from old Ghostface saying things to us. And I really think they're just being utilized for voices. Like, our new Ghostfaces are using AI to replicate voices of the dead to torture Sydney and Gale in real life, like kind of to bring up some sort of traumatic feeling by hearing that voice again. I think that's really fucked up and interesting, but like, I just don't like the way that they announced. Like, let's say that is the case. You know, let's say that the only reason they are being in the cast list for whatever reason is to use their voices through that kind of technology. I just don't like the way they announced it. Like, I don't like them saying like, oh, Dewey Riley is back in Scream 7. You know, Stu Macher will return in Scream. No, they didn't. AI is not real people. It's software, you know? Like, I don't know. There's different... That's a whole different ball game. You know what I mean? You're using terminology that is misleading and leading fans down a different path. We love making theories. That's great. But I just feel like this is it's clickbait kind of energy. And I guess I just don't like that. But if that's the case, Austin, that would be awesome. That would be at least a little satisfying. You know, maybe not the other two guys would be showing up, but at least Dewey could be on screen in some sort of way. Scream 7 has really put itself in a position where it just can't make me happy because of how they've announced some things. So I'm hoping that they find a way. I'm hoping that they find they pull a rabbit out of a hat is what I'm hoping for. So Austin, thank you for the $2. I greatly appreciate you. JL is asking if there's novelizations of the Scream films. If not, should someone write them? I want to say there are. I want to say maybe not all of the films, but I want to say that there are of some. I'm not 100% sure. Let us know in the chat if you know of something. I want to say like there's at least the first 3 movies there's novelizations, but I'm not 100% sure. Jack needs a new Scream 7 trailer ASAP. I agree. I want to see it right now in my face. Put it in my eyeballs, inject it into my veins. Let's get it. I want to make up new theories and crazy shit too, man. I'm ready for it. I feel like that first trailer thankfully didn't give us too much outside of spoiling a few deaths. But man, I'll take it. I'll take what I could get. Raggedy Man is saying, I just got the ability to start going back to theaters. Can't wait to see Scream opening night. Very nice. Very nice, very nice. I hope you enjoy. I think it's definitely going to be fun seeing that one in theaters. I'm hyped. JJ is saying, do you think a new Scream trilogy with popular Gen Z and Gen Alpha actors, social media stars, would reinvigorate the Scream franchise? I think I answered this earlier, but you're saying like new people, fresh folks. I kind of went on a rant about Sydney and why I think like that still can work, but also let's break this down though. So Sydney Prescott, you know, of course, is a character who I feel like this story has been told. If we focus on new people, like what you're saying though, I feel like there's so much opportunity there. You know what I mean? There's opportunity to do things that you could never do with Sydney. I mean, Sam was on a course to potentially become the killer, not in the way that I think a lot of people think she would have become the killer, but I feel like that's something you could never do with Sydney. You could never turn that character into that. That's just not who she was. That wasn't in her DNA. In Sam Carpenter, it literally was. It was literally, you know, she was the descendant of Billy Loomis, right? So I think if you're gonna take it down a new path, have a good idea for it, and make it happen, right? Like that to me is what's so interesting about that idea. Starting fresh, doing things that you couldn't do with the characters that we already know and love. There's things we can't do with Gale. There's things we can't do with Sydney for whatever reason. But if you create new characters who are maybe kind of in the same vein or, you know, from their bloodline, whatever, you can find new things to do. And I'm wondering what Tatum's personality is going to be like. You know what I mean? She's a new lead character. Who is she? You know, I'm excited to meet her in February, but like, what is she going to actually bring to the table that makes her a worthy part of this franchise, a worthy legacy character? I hope they answer that question in a unique way. And with any new characters, I would hope for that. I think that in Screams 5 and 6, especially, a lot of the side characters, not so much the main characters, but the side folk, there's been a lot of characters who I'm just like not as invested in. I think about like Cotton Weary, for example, is a character that I personally love, who I wish they would do like more things with in the future. At least that kind of character. I don't think they can do any more with Cotton as it stands. His arc is beyond over. But I like the idea of having somebody in the mix who isn't well-intentioned. You know what I mean? Like, he's going after Sydney in a way. He's not trying to kill her, but he is trying to like get that Diane Sawyer interview to clear his name and become like super famous, get a bunch of media attention, you know, kind of turn the story, flip the narrative. And that's like, that's super, he's a super selfish character. Sure, he was, you know, he was wrongly accused, falsely accused and all that, right? But the way that he's going about things feels nefarious. And I love characters like that. In fact, I love murder mysteries like that, dude. I love murder mysteries where we have a bunch of characters who, like, all of them could have done it. They're not all perfect characters. Like, I think there's too many times we introduce characters in Scream movies who are like, these people are really fun. I like hanging out with them. But it's like, this is a murder mystery, dude. We should be suspicious of everybody. And sometimes when we get into movies like this nowadays, I'm watching these characters who I'm like, that person's not it. They're way too nice. But these two characters are kind of whack. And then they end up being the killer. I feel like a lot of murder mysteries nowadays have been that. I think you should give everybody a reason to have done it. One of the best modern examples of that, and I will die on this hill, Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. This has one of the very best twists of a modern murder mystery film. I'll die on the hill. I don't care. Loved that movie to death. 10 out of 10. Not 10 out of 10. Okay, relax, Jake. 10 out of 10. Come on now. Love that movie. That's my point. Really feel like more murder mysteries should try to find that energy of like anyone could have done it at this party. That was such a really well set up movie. Even if the characters were a little annoying, I love that film. I think it's written very, very well. And more murder mysteries need to follow suit for sure. JJ also threw $10 out there saying, thank you, Killjoy, for continuing to discuss the Scream franchise. A void was left when Craven passed, and you have more than filled it. I really appreciate you saying that, JJ. Thank you so much. I really don't know if I'll ever fill that void, truthfully. I miss Craven I really do miss him every single day. It was a really hard fall, you know, for that reason, of course. And I really appreciate you saying we will continue to support you too, because it's a weird time in general. I think, you know, losing Craven really hurt. Right before a new Scream movie, and it's also one of those situations where this might be it for Scream. And I briefly brought this up on stream the other day, and I don't want to sound like a downer, because I'm first of all, I'm not a downer and I'm not a quitter. But I do fear that if there's no more new Scream movies on the horizon, like let's say Scream 7 bombs at the box office, and they don't make another one, I don't know what the future of this page is going to be, you know? I hope that we can keep getting people to check out the streams and hang out with us, but I don't know. You know, we'll see. But Scream has been the thing that has really, you know, brought the most traffic to this channel. And I don't know what the future of the page is going to be beyond that. I do appreciate you saying that though, and I really hope that we can keep making content for you guys that you'll vibe with. I have had other, you know, covering other kinds of movies and TV shows that has done well, but it's nothing that compares to the Scream stuff. Like almost every single time, every now and then, like I have an It Welcome to Derry video that did really well, but like that's rare, dude. Like that's, for me, that's like super rare. And like it's hard for me to take a chance on these other types of content, because I'll talk about something and I'm like, why is this bombing? Like, I don't understand. Like, this is so, like, everyone's talking about this right now. This is super popular. 28 years later, The Bone Temple. Last time I did a video on that, it totally bombed, and it doesn't make, like, it just, numbers wise, it doesn't make sense. Lots of people are excited for said franchises, and yet I just, for whatever reason, I can't get views on it. So I'm not sure if it's because this channel, I've screamed this channel out too much. I'm not sure, but whatever reason, I can't complain. JJ, I just want to say that I really appreciate you supporting the page. And I hope to keep making content for you in the future, even if there is no Scream movie on the horizon. You know, I love talking about these movies, though. It's this page has been life changing for me, and I'm just I said this on I don't want to spend too much time on this, but because I talked about it way too much on the last stream. But what I will say is that no matter what happens, I just greatly appreciate that I got this little chapter of my life, because this has been a blast. This has been so much fun, and whatever comes next, I'm hoping I'm still going to be creating no matter what, even if it's not for this page. Again, like I said, though, I'm not quitting anytime soon. I'm going to do everything I can to keep this page alive. I took a ton of odd jobs in 2024. I painted for a little while. I did a whole bunch of crazy shit, just to keep this page alive, because 2024 was so rough with, the only really big release that I was able to cover was Terrifier 3. So I'm hoping that moving into 2024, we have something a little more, or 2026. 2024 was a while ago now. Shit. Moving into 2026, I hope that, you know, beyond Scream 7, this page is still going to be kicking ass. I'm keeping my fingers crossed, baby, but you know, we'll see what happens. Whatever happens, though, I really appreciate your guys' support. This has been, an honor and a pleasure. Probably the most fun experience my whole life. So thank you guys. Ghostface Killer throwing $20 out there too, saying keep this page alive. I appreciate that. Like I said, I'm going to do everything in my power to make it happen, dude. So I appreciate you guys. I said it earlier. I'll say it again. The live stream folks, you guys are the people that keep me alive. And I'm just, I'm very grateful for it. This is too much fun. This is too much fun. And I'm really excited to put out some more fun videos for you in the new year. So I think, we'll have a lot more crazy things to get into next year, hopefully. We'll see what happens. But again, thank you for the 20. Erica's also throwing out Craven Something Scary's channel again. If you haven't subscribed, go subscribe, you know? Again, I can't stress it enough when I say that Craven and I did multiple streams over there that were a total blast. Truly some of the most fun I ever had on stream was with Craven. He just had such a great energy, and infectious positivity that I am so unbelievably thankful to have been in the presence of in my lifetime. So I can't stress it enough when I say that, that you should subscribe to that page, because there's a lot of great content over there. A lot of fun stuff. What changes would you make to the Scream mask, asks Acres of Movies. Why would I mess with Perfection? Dude, that thing is so creepy and unique. I think there's so many masks that are super boring, and if we're looking at this popcorn bucket here, you know, for instance, right? Or this fella, I just it's such an interesting look, because it looks scared, and yet it's the thing that's running at you, trying to stab you in the face. You know what I mean? I think that's such an interesting mask. A lot of masks are going for scary and intimidating, but what freaks me out about that mask is it looks scared and intimidated, with the way the eyes are shaped and all that. I think it's perfect. I think it's one of the best slasher masks ever. I might not be, I'll be honest with you, I don't know if, Ghostface has achieved my absolute favorite slasher of all time status, but in terms of look, that might be my number one. I'll be honest. In terms of how a slasher looks, I think Ghostface is number one. It's it does something that none of the other slashers do so effectively, in terms of design, in terms of look, and I have nothing but respect for it. So a lot of great stuff there. GMC Waters is saying, I found your channel through a stream you did with Craven. Such a kind soul. For sure. That's wonderful, though. Thank you for subscribing, and thank you for watching Craven Something Scary as well. That really means a lot to me. Really good friend of mine. So I'm glad that you watched his streams. Ghostface Killer is saying Scream will never die. I hope it never does. I really think that this is a franchise that we could get a new movie every 2 years. I believe that deep down in my soul, opposed to the whole, not knowing where my channel's fate is. Outside of that, this is a franchise that could endure. It's not Jason, where he's just the same killer coming back every single time and we get bored of that. It's a new person underneath the mask every time, with a whole new reason to be killing. You could make 100 of those movies and it wouldn't get old, because you could do something different every single time, with a new motive, a new person underneath the mask, a new kind of person killing and running around. I feel like this franchise has just kind of gotten in a loop of doing the same kind of killer. And that to me is odd, because I'm like, this is like anyone could be underneath that mask for any reason. Like there's a million reasons to kill people. And I want to see more motives explored. It doesn't even always have to relate to horror movies, honestly. Like I feel like we could find other things to kind of get into, and that would still totally work with this franchise. There's other ways that you can incorporate meta horror commentary, whatever. I don't think Scream ever needs to die. I think this is one of those rare franchises, like honestly, like Evil Dead or Final Destination. I'd put those two franchises up there as well, that could just go on forever. Great ideas for just great concepts with where those franchises ended up going. So I'd love to see a million more of these. So I really would. What else do we got here? For Misery Gaming has got to head out, going to watch Stranger Things with the wife. Enjoy Volume 2. I had some mixed thoughts. I won't spoil anything, but I'm on the fence about how I'm feeling with Volume 2 and just Season 5 overall. But it has some really solid moments, like some big peaks. That's what I'll say about Season 5. Some really big moments and then some weird stuff in between. Chillin' Killin' Dylan is saying make the mouth longer and the hood pointy in the back, like in Scary Movie. Make it like the Scary Movie mask, and that would be great. I love, the Scary Movie mask just cracks me up with the tongue out. I mean, that's iconic. Gotta love that. I do want to see variations of the mask, though. That was something that was really refreshing about Scream 6 for me. I know that they were just basically doing a Halloween 2018, but putting a bunch of cracks in it, making it look like an older Ghostface mask, whatever. But I love that. I thought it was just different. It was scarier. It was cooler, grimier. It was just a freakier Scream mask. I want to see more of that in the next one. Maybe like just something as simple as like a different color. Like what about a red Ghostface mask with like a black, you know what I mean? It has the black hood and the robe and all that. With a red mask, I mean, that might stand out. Like the devil mask from Dead by Daylight. There's a lot that I feel like we still could do. So I don't know. It's one of those things where I'm like, let's make it happen. Let's see what's up with that. See, King Bull is saying Scream 8 has already been confirmed. And it probably will happen. Let's be honest. I hope it does. But there is the chance that just like with Exorcist Believer, that there was that movie just failed. It did not make enough money and it did not get good enough reviews. So they completely rehauled the whole thing, and now they're doing it with Mike Flanagan. But it's one of those things where if there's a big enough shakeup like that, if this movie doesn't do that well, which I think it will, there's a chance we might not get another Scream film. So I'm almost getting a little worried now with how the marketing has been handled with Scream 7. I hope they do some crazy outlandish stuff like how they did with 5 and 6, getting closer to the film. And I think as we get into the new year, they're going to. But I really, really hope that there's a Scream 8 on the horizon, man. I'm really hoping for it. Keeping my fingers crossed. Unbridled Instinct is saying, I do think that there was great potential with Sam, though. A main protagonist turning heel would have been such a great way to go with the franchise. I think so too. It seems like the whole fandom is against us here. Unbridled Instinct. I think that would have been totally fucking awesome. Biggest thing with that is that I just think it wouldn't have been handled in the way that so many think it would have, where just Sam is randomly the killer at the end of the next film. I strongly doubt that would have been the case. I really think Sam would have been someone you knew was the killer the whole time, following from her perspective, like all of the other films with her, where she's kind of like the main focus. And she's going after a lot of people in Richie's cult, going after them before they can go after her and her friends. In a way, she's protecting everybody by going Ghostface. So it's almost like a self-sacrifice kind of thing, an anti-hero that just would have been such an interesting arc. And again, it would have been a bigger swing for Scream, something crazier than they've really ever done before. Might have just totally broken up the whole like formula that we know and love. So it would have been a polarizing film for sure, but it's stuff like that I'm like, dude, yes, that's what I want. Those are the kind of swings I want to see franchises take. Stuff you could never do that with Sidney Prescott, right? You could absolutely never do a story like that with Sidney. You could with Sam, though. And that's why that kind of story intrigues me. It's not just because, we could do this. No, it's because you couldn't do it before. That's why I want to see it explored in a new sequel with a new kind of character, where we're setting this up across multiple movies. 5 and 6 absolutely set up something like that. So for me, I just would have loved to see that. I feel like that would have been an earned movie too. because we're kind of getting into something similar to that with The Strangers Chapter 3, where I don't feel like it was set up at all in those first two flicks. But I do feel like it would have been set up through Screams 5 and 6 moving into 7. I know a lot of us complain about Screams 5 and 6, but man, we could have had it way worse, guys. I'm just saying, there are way worse sequels in other franchises, man. I'm telling you. The Strangers Chapter 1 and 2 are abysmal. I mean, like, borderline unwatchable. 5 and 6 are way better than those movies, man. I don't know. I mean, I know we're talking comparisons and all that, but man, I think we were lucky with Screams 5 and 6. We don't even really know it yet, I think. What else is going on here? We got Chill and Kill and Dylan saying Ghostface or a good killer Scarecrow. These two things are tied for coolest look. I feel like we don't really... Do we have a cool killer Scarecrow that's like super popular? Like outside of like of course there are some, but do we have a popular like killer Scarecrow movie? I don't know. I feel like we still need like something like that to really blow up. We have like things like that, you know what I mean? Like I feel like almost in a weird way Pumpkinhead is kind of Scarecrow-esque, not in terms of design, but in terms of like what that character's MO is. Like protection and whatnot. I don't know. But I would love to see a good Scarecrow slasher. That would be fun. Acres of Movies is saying, if you could talk to Spyglass and that Gary chap, what would you say? Probably not a lot of nice things, honestly. I'm not, it definitely is a separate the art from the artist kind of thing for me personally. I'm not really crazy about a lot of the weird decisions they've made. I don't know. I don't know what to say. It's great. It's just it's a weird thing with Spyglass, man. I like their movies. I don't know if I really like the people that run the company though. The ASMR Ty is saying Scary Movie 6 hype. I'm definitely excited for it. Marlon Wayans is saying some whack shit on social media right now, though, that like I don't even know how I feel about it. I'm not gonna get into it because that's a whole thing, but but man, I am excited to see what that movie's all about. I hope it's fun. I hope it's funny. I hope it really, goes places that maybe other movies wouldn't. Let's just say that, Lisa is saying, in our society, there would be so many ways you could take Scream forever into the future. Use Amber's "the internet radicalized me" comment and leap off into the future. Doesn't have to use Stu. I totally agree. I think that that's such a great element that feels like an echo of Scream 4 in a way. You know what I mean? I feel like we have Jill in that film saying, she would do anything for she doesn't need friends, she needs followers, that kind of energy. She'll kill people if it means that, she gets a following. And that's so ahead of its time. I feel like Amber, what's going on with Amber feels a little more like a modern version of that. You know what I mean? Because Jill is so early 2010s, like you wanting to be YouTube famous kind of thing, that was like such a difficult thing to achieve at that time. There wasn't as many other platforms to help you with said thing. And it's such an interesting, I don't know, it's crazy how ahead of its time Scream 4 is. I know that a lot of people want to shit on both Screams 3 and Scream 4 for different reasons, but both of those movies, crazy ahead of their time, and very well done with the commentary angle in both regards. I mean, if you want to rank these movies by how well the commentary works, I think that's the top 3 right there. Like the more I think about it, the more I'm like, shit, yeah. 1, 3, and 4, like those 3 movies, I feel like do the commentary maybe the best. It's something it's a lot of glazing for Scream 3, admittedly, but dude, Scream, the stuff about Harvey Weinstein, that's like the best part of Scream 3. That's the coolest thing about that movie, that they snuck it in there and made it a whole big part of the plot line. Crazy. Love that. Love Scream 3. A lot of respect. So a lot of crazy things that are just ahead of their time in those middle pack sequels there. What's the possibility of Gale being the killer? I don't know. I feel like that ship has sailed. I would have loved to have seen a Gale-esque character being the killer, though. One of my theories for Scream 6 that I still would love to see happen in a movie with Gale is having a conflicting reporter be the killer. That would be so cool, in my opinion. Like, have this like other reporter character who's like trying to steal her spot and killing people as Ghostface to then report on it. Kind of like Danny Johnson in the Dead by Daylight lore. Do something like that, but adapt it to the actual Scream movies. That would be awesome. in my opinion. So think like Debbie Salt, if she was motivated by just simply wanting Gail's spot. She's made quite a lot of money off the fact that she's written books about these things. So here's a new reporter who's going to write the book about it and kill Gail Weathers in the process. That would be an amazing motive. I would be over the moon about that. I'd be jumping. I'd be singing the praises of a Scream film with that kind of killer motive. That would be awesome. Richard J. Skarenki is saying, by the way, got Dead by Daylight for Xbox for Christmas. Very nice. We have a lot of exciting updates for Dead by Daylight. There's a new Christmas skin for Ghostface in the game. We have some Stranger Things new skins happening in that as well. You're going to be able to play as like, who is it? It's Dustin, Eleven, Eddie, and Robin. That was it. I was like, who's the other character? Robin as well. So lots of really fun stuff coming to Dead by Daylight soon. I'm gonna have to get a stream up on that on that soon. Been a while since I played it. Would love to do that soon over on the gaming page. I might do that after this. I don't know. How are you guys feeling? If I did a gaming stream after this, would y'all watch, or are we just good with the one stream tonight? I don't know. Let me know. Let me know how you're feeling. Erica is saying Scream 7 has had so much drama surrounding it. The fact that it's Scream, it will bring people to see it. Yeah, 100%, yes. It'll probably be the highest moneymaker of them all. Any Scream talk is promotion, even if it's bad. And we were talking about this earlier. Sydney Sweeney had been brought up. And agree with her or not, she's a controversial figure right now for a lot of the things she's done and said and advertisements, whatnot, whatever. A lot of people are still talking about her, though, and a lot of people are going to see that Housemaid movie because of her. So, truthfully, I think that drama like this kind of, in turn, ends up being a good thing after a while, which it's not, and it's fucked up, but it might lead to the film making more money than even the previous two films. You know, it's one of those things. I don't think they did any of this on purpose with that sort of plan or whatever, but I do think it'll weirdly work out for Scream 7 just for that reason. I mean, so many people have been talking about this one, maybe even more so than the previous two films, because there has been such bad juju with it. So again, this is not me rooting for the film. This is not me saying that was right of them it wasn't right of them to fire Melissa Barrera. That was ridiculous. But I do think in a weird way, because it was such a big stink was made about it. I think it is in turn promoting the film, and a lot of people are now going to see it to, kind of hate watch it, right? Like people who might not have seen it before are going to go see this thing because now they're curious. Now they want to know what the fuck is up with it. So there's a reason that the Velma show got a season 2. It's not because it's the greatest Scooby-Doo reinvention of all time. It's because people hate watched it enough to render another season. So I really, really, really believe this movie is going to do well at the box office, but they gotta, the one thing that's going to stop it is if they don't keep talking about it. That's the one problem that it could have. And I hope it does well. I do. I like having these movies on the horizon. They're always fun to talk about. I think they're so fun, and it feels like very natural to pitch theories for this franchise because it has like a similar thing going on each time. It's a really just fun series to talk about. I hope we're talking about it still for years and years to come. Next Gen is saying Gail should be the opening kill on live TV during an interview. Someone is watching her and you think they're going to die, but then Ghostface appears on TV. Oh my God. That would be crazy. I mean, I want to. This is the kind of shit I want to see in a new Scream movie. Just shit like this that is crazy, surprising, and just. I mean, what an opening kill that would be, dude. That would be what an insane way to start a movie. I'd be like over the moon about something like that. So that would be great. That would be wonderful to see something like that. Lainey is saying that their mom has been discharged from the hospital on Christmas Eve. Oh, very nice. That's wonderful. I know, Lainey, you were saying that there was, your mom was having some health problems. So that's wonderful to hear. I hope she's okay. And thank you so much for being with us. Wishing you and your mom nothing but good health during this Christmas season. Glad to hear y'all got to spend Christmas together. So that's absolutely wonderful. We're loving that. CB is saying, hi, Jake. I set up my Leatherface animatronic for the holidays this year with a toboggan, scarf, and colorful lights wrapped around the chainsaw. Who needs a tree when you have Leatherface in your corner? I mean, come on. CB, I think you're a revolutionary. I think you're truly paving. You're a, what is the word? Trailblazer. I couldn't think of that term for some reason. You're a trailblazer, my friend. Trendsetter. Everyone's, in 5 years, everyone's gonna have a fucking Leatherface in their in their living room with lights around it. I absolutely love that, though. I'm gonna try to talk my fiance into doing that next year. Great stuff. 10 out of 10. No notes. Samantha Robinson is with us. Thank you for being a channel member, my friend. Saying, hey, Jake, hope you and Madison had a good Christmas. Yes, we absolutely did. We got a ton of good stuff. We got to see my... I don't know what they would be in relation to me, but my fiance's sister's kids, we got them a bunch of gifts, and they were so excited about it. I mean, we got the one little Grayson. I don't know if I should say his name on stream or not, but we got him a little Spider-Man car, and he ripped that box open so fast and just started playing with it. Didn't even put the batteries in it or nothing, but was so excited about the little Spider-Man car, and it was wonderful. So we had a great Christmas. It was very fun. Lots of good people around us as well. So we're really thankful for it all. I hope you did too, Samantha. So thank you. Gaming stream, you say? Yes, please. They're so fun, says Erica. Samantha, since you're hanging out with us, do you want to do a water park stream? I know Samantha has been begging for a good water park stream. We haven't done that in a while. So we could maybe do a little half and half, little Dead by Daylight, little water park stream. That could be fun. So let me know in the chat. Maybe we'll set something up here in a in a little bit. We'll make it happen. Lisa is saying, well, folks, I have to leave. I'd say be right back, but probably not until next stream. Have a happy holiday season. Don't say be right back, because then you won't be back. No, I do appreciate you a ton. We will be live next week, Lisa. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. I really appreciate you a ton. It's always fun talking a little Scream, baby. So thank you for being here. Austin Allman is saying, I want Sid to be a little brave and maybe reckless. Tatum is the one who is overprotective and prepping for a Ghostface return because she has heard her mom talk about that, her past so much. Austin, that's really interesting because how I've been looking at it has been the exact opposite. Something like that would really surprise me, though, because, again, I wouldn't expect that from Sidney Prescott, but I feel like you could write that and that would totally work. You could write Sidney Prescott basically as almost like an antithesis. Words are hard, guys. An antithesis to the Laurie Strode archetype from Halloween 2018, right? Where her whole thing is she's so protective and freaked out. She's become recluse and clearly dealing with a mental illness, right? Whereas, you have Allison, who slowly comes to believe what she's saying is true, and we need to prepare for this evil that has now been released again. So to kind of do the opposite of that, Tatum is the one who's been, Sydney has kind of put that paranoia into her, but as once Ghostface comes out, Sydney turns into full badass, like an Autobot, she transforms. I don't know where the fuck that came from, but point being, she's ready to kick Ghostface's ass. Tatum in the total opposite, overprotective of her own mother. That could be a really interesting angle, actually. That would surprise me, honestly. I wouldn't see that coming, and I feel like it would totally work. Because again, we don't know Tatum. We don't know Tatum Evans. This is a brand new character. You can write her any way you want. That's interesting to me. I'm into that personally. So man, good idea, Austin. 10 out of 10. No notes. Good stuff there. Metallic throwing $5 out there. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Happy holidays. Hope you're doing well. Saying, hope Scream 7 takes some cues from Ready or Not 2 because the trailer got me hyped. They have to do the same with the second trailer. I can't disagree with that. That Ready or Not 2 trailer, lots of fun. Clearly a great elevation of the original concept in again, a unique way that I didn't see coming. And actually going back to Austin's comment from a second there, that's what I love so much about that relationship between those characters, because I feel like we're just getting ourselves into a typical kind of thing that we've already seen in something like Halloween 2018, or even, Scream. I think the last Scream 5 is kind of a good example of a similar relationship to that. If we're looking at Sam and Tara, how they're kind of, their whole thing evolves very similar to that, but to play it the opposite and play it to the unexpected is a lot more fun. Ready or Not 2 feels a little unexpected. I never needed a sequel to that film, and I don't think I ever thought about that concept getting larger. The idea that other people could be involved with LaBelle's curse. That's a really cool evolution of that series to me. And we're also clearly playing into the twist at the end of Ready or Not, which is that the curse is real and people will fucking explode into blood if they don't fulfill the game and what it means. There's a winner and there's a loser. And now we're playing that in a totally different way with Ready or Not 2. Because we're seeing people break new rules we didn't know about, and exploding into blood before the game even begins, which is crazy. So I totally agree. I'm loving the Ready or Not 2 trailer. It got me hyped as well. Scream 7 as of right now, and I said it in my video today, I'm excited for it. I am. But I want to see them break some new ground like that. Like, what's the new thing that they're offering up in the sequel that's going to elevate the concept from what came before? Or is this just another Sydney story? You know what I mean? Like, what's going to be that thing? Maybe it's just not in the trailer, and maybe we're just going to wait until February 27th to really see what that is. But as of right now, this just feels like Scream 4, but a little different. And that to me, like, I guess it's not disappointing because I am excited to see this Sydney story unfold. It's a little different from 5 and 6 in that sense that we're focusing on this character again. But I'm just like, I want to see that new thing that you're adding to the mix. Say what you want about Screams 5 and 6, but they did do that. They did add a new thing to think about, a new kind of character to follow. And you might not have liked these characters, but like I appreciate the fact that we threw a new spice, a new element into the pot that is the Scream franchise to chew on. So that's what I'm always looking for in a new sequel. Like, give me that. What's that new thing that we're going to be talking about afterwards? If it works for us, if it doesn't, that's what I want. That's what I want from a new sequel. I want you to swing, and not everything's going to be a home run. You know, and that's okay. That's the what is it? That's what we get with franchises, right? Not everything works, but sometimes it's fun if something doesn't work though at the same time. I mean, even there's a lot of Saw sequels that I don't think work at all, but I still kind of like them. Saw 5, I think, is such a great example of this. Saw 5 is a movie that does not work in the same way that the previous 4 movies do, but there's still kind of a fun new angle that it throws into the mix. Saw 5's big thing is it's like, well, what if Jigsaw didn't have his whole, thing about like, he's not really killing people, he's putting people in traps that they could survive, to like test them or whatever. Well, what if there's this Jigsaw copycat killer who who just wants to kill people in vicious ways, but they think it's a saw trap and they think they can survive, but it's really just a way for someone to watch people get like fucking tortured to death, which is crazy. So if you haven't seen Saw 5, I won't spoil it for you, but I just, that to me is an interesting angle, even if other things about that movie don't work for me. And that's what I like about Screams 5 and 6. There's many things that don't work about both of those films for me, but I do like some of the new things that they threw in there to, kind of give the franchise a new angle, something else to chew on. So I'm excited to see what that's going to be from Scream 7. I feel like we haven't really gotten into that yet. What that new angle is going to be, what that new, plot point, new element is going to be yet. But maybe it's just not there yet. Maybe we just haven't cracked that egg quite yet. Joe Bamba is saying Scream 8, a Knives Out mystery directed by Ryan Toilet Seat Up Johnson. What a middle name. What? Toilet Seat Up Johnson is too funny. I love that. I don't even know what to say to that. You've been a member for 10 months, Joe Bamba, and you used your chat to say that. Truly bold and ambitious is what this is. Exactly what I'm looking for from sequels, from franchise continuations, is this chat right here. I love that. Great. A 10 out of 10. No notes. That's been my line tonight, man. And Toilet Seat Up Johnson is just great. I'm never going to refer to Ryan Johnson as anything else now. So Joe Bamba, thank you so much for your support. And thank you for keeping the toilet seat up. None of the signed literally no woman ever though. Let's just say that. Anyways, let's get back to this. Magnificent Logo is saying, when do you think we could get the second Scream 7 trailer? I'm thinking it's probably not going to be until the new year. I think it was Paul earlier someone said this earlier, that we could be getting something on New Year's Day. However, we've been getting a lot of things on holidays from the Scream marketing team. Likely we will get something else on New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, one of those days. So I think that absolutely could be in our future here. We'll be getting that soon. Casper's eye socket is saying, any good LGBTQ horror movies, lads? I'm trying to think of one like lately. I'm trying to think of like something lately that was like good. If you haven't seen Pluribus, our main character is at the start of it in a relationship with another woman. I don't want to say any more than that. Wow, I am on the tippy. I'm on the line of spoilers. If you haven't seen Pluribus, I highly recommend it. That's a really good show. Really trying to think of something recently, movie wise. Why am I totally drawing a blank here, man? Bones and All is the only movie that's coming to mind. I think it's because that other Timothée Chalamet movie has been like, there's been so many ads for that fucking everywhere. That's the only movie I can think of right now that's also that. I'm so sorry. Why is that the only movie I can fucking think of? Yeah, Bones and All, baby. It's a great movie, though. I personally really liked it. It's a weird movie. It might not work for you, is what I'll say. It's out there. But give it a try. You know, the greatest horror director of all time is in the film, David Gordon Green. He's just acting, though, which is weird. But man, cool movie. I thought it was cool. That was interesting. Erica hasn't seen the Scream series. I heard it sucked, and I don't want my love of Scream ruined. I don't think, Erica, I'm really on the fence about it. I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's kind of, I'm in the middle. I think ultimately I lean towards liking it just because I think the two reveals in season 1 and season 2 are pretty damn good. Like pretty damn like, ooh, that's cool. They do something different than the movies in terms of how the reveals are laid out. And I thought that was really interesting. So I don't watch season 3 because season 3 is kind of whack. But seasons 1 and 2, I think are at the very least worth your time. I think all 6 of the movies are better than anything going on in the series, but I still think that there's some cool stuff there, to check out. There's some decent kills here and there as well. Characters are all right. Well, 1 or 2 of them really stand out, but that's about it. I don't know. Give it a watch. Check it out. Let me know what you think. The alpha even just said that seasons 1 and 2 are worth a watch. Yeah, I agree. Totally agree. Oh my God, Austin Allman, dude, hidden on okay. I haven't seen this yet, but I haven't heard anything about it, but this is a really good point. Queens of the Dead is a new zombie movie with drag queens fighting zombies. Heard it's funny as fuck. It's made by like Lisa Romero, I think is her name, who is a descendant of George Romero, making a zombie movie. So there's got to be something there, right? Come on now. Little nepotism at work, perhaps, but but we're still gonna check this one out. I've been meaning to watch it on Shudder. I gotta have a day of catching up on some Shudder flicks. That is an LGBTQ release, as well as another one. Actually, it's all floodgates have just opened up in my brain. The Boulet brothers have a new special on Shudder as well, which is an anthology horror where I believe one of the segments was directed by David Dastmalchian, which is pretty damn cool. Akela Cooper's doing some shit with that too. Kate Siegel, that's the other person, also directed a short for that. So wow, lots of cool people involved with that. That's pretty damn sick. Really excited to see what's up with all these projects. So I'm actually going to watch both of these movies hopefully this weekend. I'm hoping to just have like a weekend of catching up on some movies like that. Those 2 movies, The Housemaid, maybe Anaconda if I'm feeling frisky. But yeah, definitely want to get into all these though, for sure. Lots of good stuff here. Metallic 1984, throwing another 5 out there. Thank you so much, Metallic. Saying, which movie are you willing to bet you'll enjoy more? Would you say Primate, Scream 7, or Ready or Not 2? That's a really good question because Primitive, not Primate. What's Primitive? I know what Primate is. Primitive. I don't know if I is that, do you mean Primate, or is there another movie called Primitive? Primitive War, perhaps. I think you mean Primate. I'm gonna just go out on a limb here, and I think you mean Primate. Primate, I'm excited for. This could be like a weird little movie that actually works. It kind of feels like the opening scene of Nope if that was an entire movie, and I'm so excited for that. Like, frankly, I'm like, bring it on. Let's go. Yeah, okay, that's what you mean. I'm really excited for that. I think director Johannes Roberts is just underrated. I think he gets the short end of the stick far too often. I know not everything he's made has been like fantastic, but man, when he's on. Strangers Pray at Night, fucking banger, dude. I'm personally very apologetic towards Welcome to Raccoon City, the Resident Evil movie that he made in the last couple of years. There's something else that he did. VHS 85, I think his segment is underrated. I don't think it's like best of the best, but I think it's an underrated segment that's really fun. And I also love 47 Meters Down, also him. So Primate, I think this is going to be fun. I think this is going to be a really interesting little movie here. Bring it on. Let's see what it's all about. Scream 7, I'm cautiously optimistic about it. I can't go into the new year and say that it's the movie I'm the most excited about, sadly, just because I don't know. I just don't know what we're getting into here. Like, it's a mixed bag. It's been all over the place with the updates. Some great things, some bad things, some middle of the road things. I don't know what we're getting into with this one. This is truly a mystery box of a film. I think I don't know what we're getting into with Scream 7, but what I will say is, if Ghostface is on screen, I'm probably gonna vibe with it. I can't imagine I'm walking out of this film saying I fucking hate this movie. I really don't. It might be a lesser Scream sequel, but I don't see myself walking out of this movie and being like, well, that fucking sucked. I'm probably still gonna have at least a decent time with it. I mean, guys, even Halloween Ends, there was a few moments of that where I'm like, okay, that was kind of cool. I mean, it's still Michael Myers. It's still a Halloween movie. I'll still watch Halloween Ends over like one of my least favorite movies in like another franchise, lesser franchise, right? So whatever. Ready or Not 2, though, I think is probably my favorite. The movie I'm looking forward to the most from this list. This movie looks like it's going to kick total ass. I really don't have any sort of doubt in the flick. I know it's going to rock. Radio Silence just doesn't miss. My one criticism about Radio Silence is I don't know if they've made a 10 out of 10 flick yet. I think they have made consistent like 8 or 9 out of 10 movies, and that's awesome. But I don't know if they've ever made something where I walked out of it and I was like, wow, that was perfect. So Ready or Not 2, I'm expecting it to be a really solid 8 out of 10, and I don't know if it's going to be any more than that. But I would love to see, Radio Silence just have a big step up somewhere and go even further beyond where they've been. They've made some phenomenal popcorn movies, some of my favorite like popcorn horror flicks in the last couple of years. From Ready or Not to the Scream movies, to Abigail, which is so underrated. Loved Abigail. And I'm really excited for Ready or Not 2. They have a Mummy movie coming up with Brendan Fraser. Like that's gonna be good. Come on now. So I love these guys, but yeah, I guess my one criticism is I just feel like they haven't necessarily made a like a 10 out of 10 yet. I think they've made a lot of great movies. I don't know if they've reached that high of a point though. But I am really excited for Ready or Not 2. I think it's going to totally rock. Very much so. My body is ready for that film. So great choices though. A lot of good stuff coming up in January, by the way, guys. 28 years later, The Bone Temple is probably the movie I'm the most excited for within, the next couple of weeks. And I get to see that one early. Very thankful for that. I'm over the moon about 28 years later. Bring it on. This one looks even weirder than the last one. I can't fucking wait. So that's the movie I'm probably the most excited for. Return to Silent Hill is coming up. I think that's going to be a so bad it's good, and my body is also ready for that one. And then we have Strangers Chapter 3, which, it's going to be one of the films of all time, guys. It's one of the films. But thank you so much, Metallic, though. I really appreciate the 5. Mr. Mastermind Killer Paul is saying they, them is okay with Kevin Bacon. I honestly didn't love it. I think it's got a few pretty cool little sequences. I just wasn't over the moon about it. I don't know. I feel like it was kind of whack. I don't even have like a particular thing I liked or disliked about it. I just kind of felt like it was all over the place. It wanted to be a slasher, but it just didn't want to kill anybody at the same time. It was like, well, I feel bad for these characters. I can't kill any of them. And I understand that. I understand that back and forth. I understand the conundrum that was trying to make that movie. So I get it, but at the same time, I feel like it didn't really work for me. Even though I do think it was an interesting idea that dealt with some real life horror. So I don't know. I'm not really sure. I don't know how to feel about that one, I guess is my point. I think it stands out because of the concept, taking place at a controversial conversion camp. And I think that it hits on some interesting commentary. But again, I feel like that movie just didn't really know what to do. It didn't want to do anything that felt like too mean, right? But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I guess I just don't know. Don't know how to feel about that one, Paul. But thank you for the 2. You're also saying, I would like to see a Radio Silence remake of The Creature from the Black Lagoon. Thoughts? What's cool about that, dude, is that James Wan is doing a Creature from the Black Lagoon remake. And we haven't gotten any sort of update on that at all. But to what I know, he is still directing that film. That's still coming about. Seems like, and my theory here is that I believe James Wan is working on whatever the fuck is happening next with Saw. That's like his main focus now. But I feel like this would totally rock as well. I love Radio Silence, love my boys. But dude, James Wan all day over Radio Silence to do Creature from the Black Lagoon. I really only say that because I feel like the Radio Silence guys would turn Creature into like a popcorn flick, right? It would be a bunch of really fun characters all getting attacked by the creature and getting ripped into shreds and blood and guts everywhere, of course. But I feel like it would just be like a happy, fun movie where like Creature from the Black Lagoon, that can be a very dark thriller about like environmental hazards and shit, which it should be. That franchise deserves a facelift. And it's a very early example of environmental horror from that time period. There's a lot of examples from like the 50s, 60s like that are great, like just classic horror flicks for that reason, because they get into that stuff. So I'm Creature from the Black Lagoon. I'm excited for James Wan to do it. I think he'll bring a certain darkness to it that it needs. Even though I totally see the vision for a Radio Silence Creature from the Black Lagoon movie, don't get me wrong. But I think I just want it to be darker than what Radio Silence brings to the table, personally. So I'm hoping for almost like a Batman '89 reinvention of Creature from the Black Lagoon from James Wan. I'm really excited to see what that's all about. Hopefully it's a total banger, something like that we've never seen from the franchise before. If any series needs a facelift or a new movie, it's this franchise. I think the creature is one of the coolest designs, man. I don't know. You could do that, and you could do that like even scarier as well. I love Creature from the Black Lagoon, man. It's a great movie. It deserves a facelift. So I'm hoping for that sometime soon. I'm excited to see what Radio Silence does with The Mummy next. With Brendan Fraser's Mummy franchise, which I feel like they may be a perfect fit for. Again, fun popcorn flicks with a little bit of a horror vibe to it. Radio Silence makes great movies in that department. So that's going to be fun. I'm really excited to see what they do there. Thank you so much for the 5, Paul. I still want to see Radio Silence do Escape from New York, though. I feel like that could rock. I feel like that could be fun. That'd be a fun new direction. Metallic is throwing $2 out there again, saying, this is not a test. Have you heard anything good? About what? About Scream 7? I have heard some good things about Scream 7. I'll be honest. I've heard some good things about Scream 7 that I can't talk about on this page. Good things, and maybe some weird things. That's what I'll say. I have heard some things, and it's exciting, and it just. With everything I know about Scream 7, I feel like it's going to be another like movie like Scream 6, where it's a mixed bag. It's things where I'm like, I'm going to fucking love this, and I'm not going to fucking love that. It's going to be all over the place. But I'm kind of okay with that. I think that I deep down in my heart, I believe that Scream 7 is going to find a new thing to do. At least I hope. I feel like that's just rooted in the DNA of this franchise. Once we get away from that, what the fuck is Scream? But yeah, I've heard some good things. That's what I'll say. I don't want to spoil anything, but I've heard some things where I'm like, okay, that sounds like Scream to me. That sounds like a fun angle to take this thing down. But thank you for the 2. You're also saying this is not a test, is a Scary Movie coming out. Yes, Scary Movie 6 is coming out next summer. I believe it's the end of July, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe it's middle of July. It's next summer sometime. I think it's going to be a really fun little movie. I also think that movie is going to make a fuck ton of money because people want comedies, man. We want these like over the top crazy comedy movies. And I'm excited to see them come back. For me at least, I feel like Naked Gun was such a very refreshing release this year. It felt like something I hadn't seen in theaters in a very long time. And I laughed my ass off. I thought it was hilarious. Not the best comedy ever. Not every joke lands, but I'm just happy to see something that's really funny at the theater. And I think Scary Movie 6 is also going to be that as well. I miss comedy movies, man. Everything's this, that, or the other. Everything is a superhero movie, a drama, a horror flick. Maybe there's some other stuff too, but I just feel like we don't get just straight up comedies anymore. Just people who are funny in a loose little plot where they can do bits. Where is our Ace Ventura 2s? You know what I mean? I want to see a dumb movie like that. Do you guys know the plot for Ace Ventura 2? I fucking don't, and I've seen it 10, 12 times. Who cares? It's Jim Carrey doing bits, dude. That's what it is. And I love it. We need more movies like that. Anchorman 2, you know what I mean? Anchorman or Anchorman 2. I feel like those are kind of movies in that same area. Wait a minute. Metallica is saying this is not a test, is a film coming out. I think it's a zombie film. I fucking clearly have never heard of it. Wow. Okay. I thought you were testing me. This is not a test. I can't, I'll tell you what. That's really funny. This is not a test. Okay. Olivia Holt is in it. Very cool. Froy Gutierrez from Strangers Trilogy. Okay, it's an apocalyptic horror thriller from Adam McDonald. Sick. Students must take cover from infected zombies. Is this kind of, so I've seen a few I want to say it was either like a Korean horror series. It was something on Netflix. I can't remember what it was called or where it came from. So apologies if I'm getting that wrong there. But I believe there was a series very similar to a concept like this. It's a bunch of students who are trapped in a school and zombies attack. I wonder if this is something kind of similar to that. That's interesting to me. So that's coming out the week before Scream 7 on February 20th. That's exciting. That's cool. It's coming from Shudder too. Shudder usually puts out pretty good stuff. Okay. I'm excited for this. That sounds great. I'm totally all about that. That ought to be cool. Had a festival run recently. Metallic, apologies there that I just don't know what the fuck is going on. I see Scary Movie. I see that. My brain goes to other places. So apologies. But yeah, I'm all about a good zombie movie being released in theaters, man. I feel like we haven't really had a good zombie movie in theaters in a while. I've been hearing that there's a Return of the Living Dead movie on the way sometime soon. I really want that. I'm here for more zombie. I feel like that's another thing we don't get a ton of. And I'm even though there was a time where maybe I was sick of zombies, I'm ready for zombies again. I'm ready for that. Bring it on. Let's see what that's all about. So no, that's cool. I love that. Sorry, I just did not understand your super chat or the multiple other chats you put after that. So apologies there. That's definitely on my radar now. This is not a test. I have clearly not heard shit about it. That's really funny. Corey Burrier is sending the good vibes from Winnipeg. What's up, my friend? The OG Scary Movie is the best. Yeah, I mean, come on. Of course, that one's the best. I love 2, though, as well. Scary Movie 2 is a ton of fun. Evil Dead Burn, I cannot wait. Very excited for that one for sure. Maybe one of the movies I'm the most excited for. Anytime there's a new Evil Dead, dude, it's top of my list. I'm just going to be honest. Evil Dead is my all-time favorite horror franchise. I'm so excited for more. I really hope this one kicks ass. I hope it hurts. I don't feel like, the more I watch Evil Dead Rise, the less I feel like it really hurts. It doesn't sting as hard as some of the other sequels. So I really want to feel with that one. I really want that one to hurt and be crazy. We've only ever gotten a little teaser for it, so I am definitely excited to see what that one's all about. I hope it's good though. Evil Dead is extreme horror. You're damn right it is. And they better not go soft on us with whatever Burn is about to be about. It's coming from a director who made a fucking scary movie, though, called Infested, with a bunch of little spiders crawling around killing people. So, that movie was almost too much for me to watch, and I'm really hoping he's able to create that same vibe with whatever he's got cooking with Evil Dead. Austin Allman is saying, I heard they are trying to get White Chicks 2 off the ground, and instead of rich girls, I want the Wayans bros to be like Karens. Commentary on that culture would be fire as fuck. That would be absolutely, I would be so down for that. White chicks, but they're Karens. That's too funny, man. I would, you want it to be like old lady. That's fucking great. That's actually phenomenal. I think yes to, I say yes to that. If I was in charge of a studio, I would greenlight that and lose so much money, but I don't care. I just want that movie to exist. Erica is saying, no spiders, please. Yeah, no, that Erica avoid infested like the plague. That movie, I mean, listen, I do this for a living, and that movie was too much for me. My God. Holy shit. Was the Roman dialogue in the Scream trailer? I think it was. I mean, I think you can kind of argue either way, but there's a line that sounds like it's coming from Roman in the trailer. It might not actually be him, but it sounds like Scott Foley to me. There is definitely a line from Dewey, and there's definitely a line from Stu. So I'm pretty sure there's a line right after Dewey's in the trailer specifically. It sounds like Roman to me. It sounds like Scott Foley's voice. I could be wrong, but I think that's him. I think that's old Mr. Bridger, director of Stab 3. Metallica is saying that hot take, Evil Dead Remake 2013 is the best in the series. I don't think that's a hot take at all, dude. I think that's my absolute favorite from the franchise. And don't get me wrong, I love the original trilogy. I think all three of those movies are fantastic, but the movie that gets under my skin the absolute most, it's Evil Dead 2013, man. That movie hurts. That is one of the most painful movies to watch, I think, ever. I love it. I think that is one of the best reimaginings, remakes of all time, whatever you want to call it. Fede Alvarez, I think it's still his best movie that he's ever made. He's got a lot of good stuff under his belt, but that 2013 Evil Dead, that's his magnum opus, without a doubt. Paul is saying Cheese Grater in Evil Dead is going to be hard to beat. That's a top 10 kill, dude. That's attack top 10, whatever. From Evil Dead. That's the scene that maybe gets me the most in that film. A lot of great stuff in there. Evil Dead Rise, I feel like, is so phenomenal as well because of the cast. Nell Fisher, who is just killing it on Stranger Things this season, is phenomenal in that film. I also think that I can't remember her name. Lily Sullivan is great in that movie. Alyssa Sutherland, which is a slightly different but very similar last name. All three of them are just, everybody in that movie is fantastic, though. Everybody across the board. Characters really make Evil Dead Rise for me personally. But man, it's a killer movie. A lot of fun. I love that movie just gets like right into it, though. There is no time wasted. It's very quick with the pacing just to get through the setups for characters, and I still love all the characters. Like I fall in love with the characters. Rock on, move. Let's go. Let's do this. I feel like that movie just does that so well. It grips you by the balls, and it says let's fucking go. Let's rock and roll with these characters. Ton of fun. Lots of fun stuff there. So great stuff in that movie. Days is saying, do you think that the plot leaks are accurate? No, not really. It's a lot of stuff where I'm like, dude, I just talked about that. I just made a video about that like a couple of weeks ago, and you're just putting it out there and presenting it like it's a plot leak. I don't know. I don't think, no, I don't think it's accurate. I think it's just coming from buttholes who want to spoil the movie for people and make them think that the movie's ruined now. So no, I don't think so. And I'll be honest with you, even if I do get the movie spoiled, like, it's all about execution at the end of the day. You can pitch me an idea for something. Like, guys, we've probably been right about something that we've talked about on stream before regarding what Scream 7 actually is. But I think it comes down to how you execute it, because, man, there's a lot of bad movies with good ideas. I've seen plenty of them. And it really comes down to execution, I think, with all great ideas to make them what they are. So, I don't know. I'm just saying, I think that there's still, if people aren't, I don't know, people just suck. Don't let them ruin the fun experience for you. ASMR Ty is saying, bro, I had time to go get Olive Garden and this dude Jake still live. Give the man the flowers for all his work. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you, Ty. I appreciate it. Enjoy the Olive Garden. We just got a gift card to there, and I am getting a whole gallon of that gnocchi soup. That is my favorite fucking thing from there, dude. If I had just a lifetime supply of that, I would be a happy man. I could die happy, truthfully, because I would be full of soup. And that's all I ever want to be, is full of gnocchis and full of that soup, baby. I will be the happiest little lad. Oh, Ghostface Killer, you reminded me. Shit, that scene is hard to watch. The machete dragging through Mia's knee will be hard to beat. Most of Evil Dead 2013 will be hard to beat, dude. That whole ending sequence, man. I mean, just when you think it can't get any worse after everything that happened to Eric in that movie. I mean, the crowbar through the fingers. Fuck. The nail gun in the face. I mean, everything that happens to that poor dude, like, just put him out of his misery and he just won't die the whole movie. Poor dude. But man, Mia goes through the fucking ringer at the end of that movie. And I mean, just thinking about that, oh man, when she has to rip her own arm off at the end. I mean, dude, Mia is one of the best final girls of all time. If you want to talk about someone who deserves their flowers, fuck, Jane Levy, man. Holy shit. What a sequence. God damn. Laney is saying, I really hope if Scream 7 soundtrack comes out, I hope they will add Demi Lovato's Still Alive and Mike Shinoda in my head to the soundtrack, as I don't know why they're not on the Scream 6 soundtrack. Great tunes. I feel like Scream 6's soundtrack was awesome. You know, a lot more modern, but that's what Scream has to do. You know, what's the sounds of the time? We gotta have, you know, kind of music from this time period. I love Scream 6's soundtrack. A lot of great tunes on there for sure. You know, Scream 3 will always have the best soundtrack of the series, though, which features Creed, Static X, more people that I'm sure are great that I just can't remember off the top of my head. There's some great fucking tunes on Scream 3's soundtrack. But yeah, you're never gonna top that, dude. That whole soundtrack is just, every single needle drop in that movie is like, fuck yeah, dude, let's go. Oh baby. But I am hoping that Scream 7 soundtrack totally rocks. We've heard a little bit of the score from Marco Beltrami, who's returning, which totally rocks. I missed him in Screams 5 and 6. Now, again, no offense to Brian Tyler, but Marco Beltrami, he's the dude when it comes to Scream. He just understands the sounds of this franchise. And I'm really excited to see what the soundtrack's going to be all about. I wonder if they're going to do like a throwback thing or if they're going to do modern music. That's kind of a big question I have right now. What's my favorite Scream movie? Freddy, I feel like you can't beat the original. I feel like I love all the sequels, I do, but I feel like the original is just like, that's a 10 out of 10. That's a perfect movie. I wouldn't change a damn thing about it. I just feel like you're never going to top that original movie for not only the impact it had on, you know, the space of horror, but also just what I don't know. It's a perfect movie. I can still watch it. If that movie came out today, I would still love it. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where I'm like, it's timeless. And at the same time, it totally captures everything that's great about the late 90s of horror. You're never going to get better than the original Scream. It's a masterpiece. Some great stuff. That's always going to be the best Scream movie in my humble opinion. Hybrid Gamer is saying, listen to Scream by Hailstorm. I feel like I probably know that song. I feel like I've heard Hailstorm before. Sarah Michelle Gellar was named Cece, but more like Yeet Yeet by the end of the scene. She got yeeted, all right. Oh, she got sent. D-Sack. What's up, D-Sack? How we doing? It's Jake, how we doing? Welcome in, welcome in. Yo, yo, yo. Erica is putting a lot of links in there. A lot of good stuff out there. Erica's sharing a link to the Jakey Retro page, which is where we're going to do deep dive videos. We're about to cover all of the 28 blank later films very soon in preparation for Bone Temple, baby. It's going to be fun. So if you're excited for deep dive videos, subscribe to that page. Pretty fun stuff there. If you want to watch some films that I've made, go check out Human Ache Productions, my studio outlet YouTube channel. Oh, fuck, Jake is busy. I do a bunch of stuff outside of this page, believe it or not. So check that out. We recently won at a 48-hour film festival for a short film called Brahmin Synthetic, so give that one a watch. There we have a festival cut going out very soon, which is really exciting stuff. So you guys will see that shortly. Erica Stabs for Likes is also throwing out a link to our gaming channel, which I believe we're going to go live there very soon to play some Water Park Sim, maybe even some Dead by Daylight after this. So if you want to keep hanging with us, we'll be live in a little bit right after this, ladies and gents. And last but not least, join the Discord where you can talk horror and horror gaming 24/7, ladies and gentlemen. Lots of fun links out there to check out. Go click them all and hit subscribe or join or whatever buttons you want to press. But guys, I'm going to be signing off for the night. I really appreciate your guys' support. I really appreciate you guys talking a lot of Scream with me. Really does mean a ton. It's been so much fun getting into it tonight, and we'll be live again on Monday. I'll have a guest with me on Monday, which is going to be fun. A little bit of a surprise guest. But guys, thank you so much for being with us tonight. Really appreciate you all. And as